Hope you don't have epilepsy. Doom! Hello everybody, my name is Biggins, and now I've got to do a Doom video. You know, of course it's the centre of controversy. I mean, that obviously means that whatever I'm going to say is going to be used against me by both sides of the backseat game developer war between the PC master race and the console chumps. If I wanted to give my opinion about something I knew I was going to get shafted for, I'd hang a great big banner of what I think of Deadpool outside my house and see how long the double glazing can withstand the torrent of belligerent opinions and human shit. It's fine though, it's fine. I've been advised that I need to stay clear of all that, so I'm going to try and keep my shit together throughout the course of this video, and if anything that strays too far away from the impressions of the actual game and into the pit of human misery in the Steam reviews, it'll likely get edited out, which by the way is complete bullshit. There actually isn't too much to say about the game mechanically that isn't immediately apparent at first glance. If you've played a bit of Halo and you've played a bit of Unreal Tournament, you're going to have a pretty good idea about how all this works. Despite what some of the really enlightened reviews on Steam will tell you, Doom distinguishes itself from other shooters on the market, as it eschews a lot of the hallmarks of the modern FPS, with sights set squarely on recapturing the kind of hyperbolic running and gunning from back in the good old days. So what that essentially means is, cover-based shooting, in the bin. Regenerating health, in the bin. Hitboxing, bin. Sprint button, bin. We're going back to the days of controlling a heavily armed fridge on roller skates, fighting over pickups and ammo crates and health containers, and we'll leave it up to you whether or not that's a good idea. For all the faults the game has, and it's got a few, it's nailed the mobility. Player characters move absurdly fast, with very little weapon sway, which means you can pull off some insane kill streaks on the fly. This iteration of Doom is the first to incorporate vaulting and mantling into the game, and honestly it really works. It's so easy to navigate the map's verticality, and to try and reach power-ups or wrong foot pursuing assholes. The maps have attracted some flack from armchair critics, but honestly they incorporate this new edition really well, despite being a bit bland in terms of their aesthetic design. And they do a decent job of squirreling the pickups away in out-of-sight nukes or precariously hovering over bottomless pits. It takes a while to get your eye in though, which can be pretty humiliating. Fuck's sake. For all the Doom I've played this weekend, I can honestly say that movement is your greatest weapon in this game. However, sometimes staying still can be a great asset. My signature move was something I coined the Chicago two-step, where if a player catches you with a long-range weapon, you disappear behind a corner with a shotgun looking as though you're just running away, and then... Yep. Golden, mate. Were I to complain about some things, and I will, it's that there are certain inclusions in the game that in my opinion don't really make much sense from a design aspect when you consider the kind of feel that ID Software are going for. Did you know that you can crouch in this game? You can. Do you know why you can crouch in this game? Me neither. There's very little cover in the game, and it doesn't narrow your weapon spread, so why bother? I wondered if it was to help with sniping, but I didn't notice the difference. Not that you really would with mine. Here's a little snippet of my experiences with a sniper rifle in Doom.
Activated.
Fuck. Fuck. Fucking... I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been playing a lot of shooters lately, which is making me twitchy as shit. Whenever me and my girlfriend bump into one another in the hall, I nearly lay her the fuck out. The upside is that I really should be pretty snappy with my reflexes, but I couldn't hit shit with this gun. I'm more than willing to accept the accusation that I'm just a dribbling idiot when it comes to sniping, and I'm willing to do that because it's an evidenced fact. I mean, look at that. But here's my point. When it's so difficult to hit a moving target with a sniper rifle, which needs to be charged to be effective, by the way, and the fully charged round isn't a one-shot kill, which it isn't, then why the fuck would you ever bother to use it? Odds are you need to stand still to line up your shot, at which point I hope you've picked out a nice casket, because you're going to get rinsed, my man. Make the charged shot of the Vortex rifle a one-shot kill ID, if only so that jittery freaks who can actually get a kill streak with it have got something to talk about at parties. I am definitely not just saying that because I'm still bitter about what happened in this clip. Now I can't really talk about the next bit without adding a disclaimer. If you are a fan of the original Doom multiplayer, which looked like this by the way, then you are going to be pissed off that such a religious experience has been marred by the heresy of the new Doom's customization options. Essentially, new Doom has loadouts. Fucking gasp, right? Oh no, I guess we better boycott the only new arena shooter that's come out in 10 years. Say hello to an eternity of CODs and Halos, because that's all you'll be getting after this tanks, you fucking piece of... So, you can choose specific loadouts for your character, which means that the bulk of the game's most powerful arsenal is available to you from the moment that you spawn. The upside to this is that new players who don't know where the most powerful weapon pickups are don't get rinsed over and over again by experienced players that just set up camp around their favourite weapon spawning locations. The downside, admittedly, is that there are less secrets and pickups for players to discover and enjoy, which effectively means that the multiplayer skill ceiling, at least from what I saw in the beta, is pretty low. It's quite easy to become pro-elite, air quote, at this game, but I really don't think it could ever possibly be an esport for that purpose. The weapon balance is an issue, aforementioned sniper rifle problems, shotgun's a bit too powerful in this type of game, but also you've got the randomly spawning demon rune, which turns you into basically the earthly manifestation of hatred itself, and guarantees a few insta-gibs as soon as you pick it up. Like these guys did! Also, the melee execution glory kills, whilst satisfying in one-on-one duels, and they look pretty good, they lock you into a prolonged kill animation with a player's corpse, which leaves you vulnerable to the surrounding players. The problem is that the execution just happens if you melee an opponent whose health is low enough, whether you want to do the execution or not. This creates a problem where you actually just want to finish off a heavily wounded player in a 2-on-1 fight and get back into it, but the problem is you get stuck in this execution cycle and they finish you off and you end up losing a fight you could possibly have survived had that not happened. Now technically the player's body flashes when they are executable, so if you want to avoid getting stuck like this you should just stick to gunning them down, but good luck trying to identify that during the clusterfuck of motion and blood in a close quarters fight. I don't really like my clutch options being limited for the sake of a bit of flair, and I don't think the competitive scene will either. Honestly, I can understand why folk are a bit pissed about the loadouts, but the reality is this game is a pretty hard sell in today's market. The last Doom game came out in 2004, which means technically speaking that a hypothetical 5-year-old from back then is now legally of age to play this latest release. That is a long time for it to slip out of the public consciousness. Now, whilst the age of the average gamer is increasing every year, I imagine developers and publishers are hesitant to make a game that deviates so extensively from the established norms of the modern FPS, without including one or two familiarities in the design in order to give new players that are unfamiliar with the franchise a decent hook. Once you get over whatever perceived offence you may be struggling to reconcile in yourself, the game's actually a blast. At least the customization options are pretty good, and it gives you something to do during the matchmaking. Do you hear that? It gives you something to do whilst matchmaking. I mean, fuck it, I had a lot of fun with the game. It's just a brainless good time, massive catharsis. I got some serious joy out of some of the duels and streaks I managed, and even my stupid wizened old mug cracked a smile during some of these. I mean, look at this.
Living in the sunlight, loving in the moonlight, having a wonderful time. Having got a lot, I don't need a lot, coffee's only a dime. Living in the sunlight, loving in the moonlight, having a wonderful time.
So if I needed to provide a reasonable and conclusive summary to help assuage all the conflict, it'd be this. It's just the beta, we've barely scratched the surface of what the multiplayer is going to be like, and we've not even seen the snap maps or anything to do with the single player. The game's not perfect, but it gets an awful lot right. And if we help to support a genre of FPS that hasn't got a lot of love recently, in the mainstream at least, then we can help assuage the fears of industry geeks that the genre isn't profitable, and someday we'll get the arena shooter that we want. And who knows, you might even have a good time by accident, you joyless dour-faced cunt.